so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to choose.
Well, hello, this is Linda Carbonell, and welcome to another edition of Walking Through Life. Today I am really exciting because my guest, her name is Mary Adams. I met Mary several years ago. She was a co-host and a co-founder of Co-Creator Network, a radio network, and she had her own show. And I happened to have the pleasure of talking to her, and while talking to her, I found out that Mary has quite similar story than mine. I mean, she's real powerful. She loves herself. Now, not many of us say that, I know, but I can say it, and Mary can definitely say it. And Mary is just somebody that's, she just seems to love everybody. It's what I love about her, you know? And guess what? Last night was Mary's birthday party. So if anybody sees this, we're going to sing happy birthday very softly. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Chico's singing too. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday to you.
Ah, that was beautiful. Thank you, sweetie. And so heartfelt. I love you so much, and I love your show. I love what you're all about. And what a perfect opportunity to celebrate another day of life, to be together here.
Absolutely. And you know what, I just want to encourage my audience, if they'd like to find out a little bit more about you too, is that they can go to Facebook and look up Mary Adams, if that's okay, and just see what she's all about. She's a great friend. She's inspired me for so many years, and we share so much, you know, on Facebook and everything else. Yeah. So, Mary, could you just tell my audience a little bit about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a long list. And I hope everybody has a long list out there. I'd say probably the most important thing about me is that I'm a mother of 3 beautiful and amazing daughters, 2 who are in college, and 1 is still at home. And they're each following their own passions, their own heart, their own souls. I'm allowing them to be who they choose to be. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful to have such a wonderful relationship with my daughters. And that goes into everything else that I do. That really, I think, was the reason that I felt the need to get involved, be the change, speak up, start sharing the opportunity for people to see their lives in a different spectrum. And we all have those points in our life where we hit that brick wall. And for some people, it might be a divorce. For some people, it might be illness. For some people, it might be a career change. For some people, you know, it might be losing a parent. It's all different for all of us. But for me, the most significant piece was that I hit that brick wall in my life. And mine was a mixture of lots of different things. Mm-hmm. But most importantly, it was a physical disability, hurting my back to a point where I could not walk, being bedbound, spending years and years trying to figure out what I was going to do next, losing my career, not being able to take care of myself or my children, and being on tons of medication. And it gives you either use it as an opportunity, or you sink down in it, or you come to terms with it. People deal with these things in different ways. And for me, I did not want to be disabled. Right. I did not want to spend the rest of my life laying there wanting to live a life, because you know, and it's interesting, the whole culture of being disabled. Yeah. I don't look disabled. Mm-hmm. But I have brought my life to a point that I have customized my life to make it all work.
Yeah, you know, and that's me too. That's absolutely something that I do, you know. And for me, I think it was after I lost my mother when my life just totally turned, and I turned around from my mental illness and letting it consume me to let's use some tools to see if I can change the way that I'm thinking. And thankfully, that's what I did too. So we have so much in common. And I follow you on Facebook because you just have so much empowering, inspiring knowledge that I want to know more about, And so I think we're really good at working together with something like what we're doing right now. And I would love to be able to give my audience an opportunity to learn from you. And I'm very grateful that you agreed to come on the show and that you're going to be somebody that will continue to be on the show. I think it's great. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, because I was thinking about today is finding our purpose. And what do you think that is something that somebody that hasn't found that purpose, how can they take that first step to find it?
Well, I think that's a wonderful question. I think that that's a place where most people tend to land. And the truth is that we should be in constant recreation of ourselves and our lives, because our lives are constantly changing. The dynamics are changing, how we move around in the world. We've turned into a society that's so busy with our cell phones and with computers that we're disconnected from one another. We're disconnected from ourselves. And for some people, they use that as a tool to become more connected. Mm-hmm. But the distraction factor really keeps us out of reality. And oftentimes where I start with people when I'm working with a group or individuals is I start with what turns you on? What makes you excited? What is that spark? And the answer usually is, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I love I don't know. I love I don't know because I don't know is a starting point for absolutely anything.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know is infinite possibilities. I don't know is getting to try new things. I don't know is a place where you can make a choice to do something different.
Right.
And so that's where I start, is what is on the list of things that excite me. Now, I have some people who come to me and the first thing, they go, well, I like being with my family. Well, that's great. Mm-hmm. And that's a place we can work on mastery. But what really ignites that spark within you? And so what I usually hear is art, music. I hear career. That's a big one for people. Career is a place where a lot of us put our energy and our creativity, and we love doing it.
Right.
Another place might be within our own home environment. Maybe we need to shake it up a little bit. Maybe we need to bring how we live or how we choose to maneuver in our life to a different place. Mm-hmm. And so when you start asking that question, what I start to see is that what most people want to do is they want to live out the things that create joy and happiness.
Yes.
They want to be artistic. They want to be creative. They want to get up on stage and sing. See, that's mine. Last year, I had a moment where one of my teachers asked me, because I'm constantly doing the inner work. It never stops, ever. And I asked myself, what is it that would really ignite this spark? And what I realized is that I hadn't sang since college. And I was really good. And I started in honor choirs and, won awards. I mean, it was the most amazing thing.
Aww.
And I became an adult. I forgot about that creative side of me. So what did I do? I started taking lessons.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this year.
Yeah. Well, with me, I think I've always listened to Oprah and Dr. Phil and everybody else. And it hit me one day when I was listening to Dr. Phil, and he said, I want you to get excited about your life. And I'm like, what does that mean? And then I went home and I said, okay, you want excitement, I'll give you excitement, right? So I started jumping up, I'm excited. And it gave me such a good feeling that I do that every night before I go to bed. I'll just yell it right out. I'm excited. I'm excited. My life is great. Whoops. Sorry. And it just makes me feel really good. My husband kind of looks at me strange though sometimes. But yeah.
Right.
I think it's the power of excitement. If you can reach to that power of being excited, like Halloween, you go out and get candy and you're excited. If you can get that excited about your life, and I know some people have a problem with it, but it's kind of like I like to say, it's not like you're practicing, but it's like you got to practice to believe. You got to practice to believe, and then the more you practice, the more you believe. And I could be totally myself. I can be so creative, so funny. I love to be funny. I love to be warmed by somebody's story, and I like to be able to help people, and you do that now, and this is something that I try to do through my show too. But the one thing I want to say about acting, I guess some people would say, oh, I can't believe she's doing that or saying that, like going out and creating this wonderful little fairy garden and maybe going out and playing with the kids or whatever I happen to be doing. I'm somebody that don't have kids, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy them. So I have a lot of fun doing that, And so I've got a unique personality like you do too, and I get excited. And I get excited about my life now. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's the exact example I am trying to portray here. And if you feel that energy, if you were to close your eyes and you were to just really embody that energy, how it makes you feel, okay? And what it does is there's all sorts of things happen physically in our body when we are happy, when we are in our place of joy or creativity. And so it creates endorphins. It gets all sorts of hormones going. And so if you take aspects of your life and you want to create mastery, and what I mean by mastery is you create a life that's authentic to you, that works for you, that flows for you, not the standard of what everybody else thinks you should do.
Right.
And here's a great example of this. I have a client of mine who has a lot of trouble sleeping. And she has a disability. And so we talked about the dynamic of what is the frustration around sleep. Well, everybody thinks that I should, get 8 hours of sleep, that it's going to make me sick, that this and that. And I said, well, wait a second. How does it make you feel? And what she said to me is that it makes her feel happy to take that time at 3 o'clock in the morning and create the masterpiece of whatever it is she's working on right then. She has that spaciousness. She has the ability. So what we did is go ahead.
I was going to say, I do the same thing. I'll be laying there sleeping. All of a sudden, something will come into my head, and I'm like, and so I get up. And I used to be worried about sleeping, not getting enough sleep. But I know that my body's going to sleep where it needs to sleep and for as long as it needs to sleep. So if I get excited, if I get woken up or a dream or whatever, I'm so excited, I know I'm not going to go right back to sleep. So I get up and try to write everything down and figure out what it is that's making me excited and just live in that moment. I used to be bothered by not sleeping, but I don't do it very often. I don't do it very often, just when I get an exciting idea, which seems to be happening quite a bit lately, which is good. That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is. And there's a big difference in energy between feeling excited about being up at 3 in the morning or being in anguish and frustrated. You're awake at 3 in the morning. And so if you were to look at life, so right now, here's a perfect example. You guys see me coughing. I had the flu for 4 weeks, man. I was powerful. I had the flu in a powerful way. I didn't lay there miserable. I didn't moan and groan. I didn't complain. I got on my computer. I took care of what I had to do. I rested. I watched a lot of Netflix. It was awesome. I caught up on my favorite shows. I ate chocolate. I slept for days and didn't even know I had slept for days. It didn't have to be miserable.
Right.
It was a choice in consciousness. It was tapping into my rules. So here's some of my rules about being bedridden when my back is really bad and I have to be in bed. I put on my nicest clothing. I do my makeup and my hair. I eat chocolate. I got the best snacks in this house for my downtime.
Remind me to come see you.
I love on people. I love on people. I call my clients who are in need. I became an ordained minister 4 years
Mm.
ago because what I started and through all the training that I've done and all the work that I've done globally for the last 10 years, 4 years ago, I realized that I wanted to do more. I
Yeah.
wanted to be of service in an even bigger way. And so I have the environment locally where I live, where I work with people with grief recovery.
Mm.
Most of them have lost children. And it has been the most incredible work I've ever done in my life. I've never gotten paid a dime. And it's 100% service work. And watching people and helping people grow through tragedy and bloom again is the most powerful work I have ever done in my life.
And I'm so glad you do that, Mary, because there isn't much of that around, you know. I mean, when I lost my mother, I had no idea how to grieve. I had nothing, no idea. So I didn't. And I ended up in the mental health hospital because I didn't know how to turn on my TV or work my phone. And I didn't know it had anything at all to do with grieving, you know. And I finally had somebody that told me, well, you know, that could be what's going on with you, you know. And so I'm so glad that you are doing this because I feel people like myself need it. And, you know, we need to ask for it. We need to let you know, hey, we're having a problem. You know, instead of trying to be so strong and pushing it away, you know, somebody dying in your life is major. It's major, you know, and you need somebody like you, Mary, to help us, you know. We really do. So I'm just so glad. I mean, that was one of the first things, you know, when you told me that the other day, it was like, wow, I can't believe she's doing grieving work. I would actually like to do a show around that, Mary.
I think we should.
I think
I
so.
think we should. It's a topic that we don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We don't address. We don't know how to deal with someone in grief. And so we run away either in fear or we don't know what to say and we say the wrong thing. And then when we're grieving, you know, we're so hypersensitive. I call it emotional ICU.
Mm.
And we are in such, and I got an opportunity recently to go through the grief process myself. And it was powerful to have that self-love.
Mm.
It was powerful to have the reminders. And I reached out. I got help to get through the process because it is, and it can be a powerful process. It can be a beautiful process. It can be the most powerful jump in your life when you learn how to embrace your grief and you learn how to hold yourself through it. And then you take that excitement of life, that spark. And I want to go back to that because it's such an important part of this,
Mm-hmm.
is that we live in a society where our lives are full of constant information. The news is constantly blaring bad news, the politics, I mean, you name it, whatever it is you tap into.
Yeah.
And we need to self-nourish and love ourselves through the things that create that spark. And so it doesn't matter if it's getting a coloring book out and coloring a little bit, or writing, or painting the wall. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's
But
what I
to
was just
put
going
as
to.
much of that into your life.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to wanted to talk about too. Is that somebody that has never done this, somebody that has never, you know, actually found that they can say that they love themselves for anything. Is there any suggestions that maybe you can give them to maybe where they can move into that self-love?
Yeah, totally. Number one, everything that you think about yourself is false. Number two, everything you think about yourself is true. And here's the truth. You have control over what you choose to look at. Now, I can look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I got this pimple. I could make all sorts of excuses, not show up to the broadcast. I could be pissed off for the day.
Yeah.
I could avoid my boyfriend. I mean, and we see it in society all the time, how
Yes, we do.
little things manifest
Yep.
into behaviors and doing things because we're trying to people please.
Mhm.
We're trying to be acceptable in society. We want to be loved. That's the bottom line. We want to be accepted as we are. And so the first step is you have to accept where you are. And so I'll share and accept where I am today. I accept that I still have a little bit of the flu. I can't go out this weekend and party like I want for my birthday. And I have created scenarios. I've created opportunities. I have this whole plan. I'm going to go for a long drive through the country. I'm going to go get my toes painted. I have this whole plan on ways that I can love myself and still have a happy birthday, even though I don't get to go hang out with my friends and have the big party this weekend, probably.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I
And
think
you
that.
know what?
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think that's important to feel like if you want to go do something and you can't, that doesn't mean that's over. There's something else that you can do. No matter what it is.
Right.
Because struggling with pain and stuff like that, I often get to a point where I can or I can't or I can or if I want to go hiking, if my back's bad, I don't go hiking. So instead of wallowing, I shouldn't say that word. That's not a good word. That's a bad word. But instead of feeling like, okay, I'm messed up, I don't get to do what I want to do today, like you were saying, I say to myself, well, I may not be able to do that, but I can go around and get to the top of the mountain this way. So it's kind of like figuring out, if you can't do it one way, how you could do it another way. And I often done that with a lot of things, a lot of things. And one of the other things that concerns me is that people hold on to resentments a lot. And if we look at it as a resentment, but what would it feel like if because, if you have fights with families or whatever, there's still a part of you that says, hey, I wonder how they're doing, or, I wonder this, I wonder that, but no, I'm not going to call them, or whatever. So there's that boundary set up there. So the first thing I think that people need to do is to forgive themselves and then move on to forgive the person. But that doesn't mean you have to like them or, love them. But I bet you, because this happened to me, I bet you, if you let that wall down, there could be another relationship there waiting for you. That's what I think.
I totally agree. And I have this, I'm going to make you laugh.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what I really say, which has a bad word in it for my clients. But what I tell them is this: everybody is screwed up. Everybody is dysfunctional. And I have a little song that I sing to people, all the time.
You going to sing it for us? Go ahead, Mary. I sang for you.
Okay. Well, that's true. I got to change the words. I'm messed up. He's messed up. She's messed up. You're messed up. We're all dysfunctional today. It's something like that.
Oh, that's good.
But I sing it in the middle of clients' sessions.
Oh, really?
And I remind them, well, as they're going on and on about, oh my God, my dad said this. Oh, it hurt. What did he do? Why did he do this? And I go, stop. You're dysfunctional. He's dysfunctional. We're all screwed up. Stop. What's behind this?
Yeah.
What's real here? Now, there's real things that happen in life that we need to have good discernment and make choices. And forgiveness, in my mind, forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person.
It's all you.
Forgiveness is about being at peace about what happened with yourself. And there are some things in life you will never be at peace with. And you just learn how to deal with it in a different way. This goes once back again to the spark. What am I choosing to focus on? Am I choosing on the dysfunction of my childhood and how I was treated and what happened? And am I inserting that into my daily life, which is creating the depression, the anxiety, and everything else? And it slips in. We think about it. I have stuff that I wake up in the morning and go, oh, that's right. It's my job to connect back in with the spark. And so it's the same thing here. So like when we're talking about relationships that we're in, when someone acts out or they say something stupid or they get frustrated or, the small things, it's just because they're not in connection with their spark.
That's
They
right.
forgot. They forgot that they're okay. They forgot that they're safe. They forgot that they have choice. And that's the truth about forgiveness. And so people have come to me and they're in a bad place, and they're yelling and screaming. And I see this person, I go, wow, this could really scare somebody else. I have compassion because I have that in me too. I'm that too.
That's right. Me too. Yeah, I've made some awesome mistakes and said some wrong things, And yeah, I think everybody has. Absolutely, for sure, And
Yeah.
oh, God, Mary, I know we're getting towards the end, but I just so would like you to come back. Can you come back tomorrow? No, tomorrow's Saturday. No, but I would really like to have you come back if you can, like this month or something. We can talk more. And is it okay that maybe you have an email or something that you can give the audience in case they want to find out more about you or how to find you on Facebook or anything like that? And then after that, if you could think of one little message to give a message of hope to give the audience, that would be great.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda. So the best way to reach me is through Facebook. And you find me at facebook.com, co-creator Mary Adams. Put that in your address bar and you will find me immediately. And I have started a new group and there is nothing to sell. There's nothing to give away. These are a bunch of my teachers and a bunch of teachings and authors and speakers that I've worked with for the last 10 years who are amazing. And we're coming together in a mission of love to help people increase their self-love. And you can find that on Facebook, and it's hashtag self-love 2018. And come join the group, come join the party, come be part of the evolution and the self-love revolution of choosing something different. And the way you choose something different is you just take the first step. Yeah. That's all you have to do. And that is the truth of anything. And so I think if I had one message to leave you with, and this was my last message ever, I would tell you that your purpose here on this planet is so much more than just what you allow yourself to have. There is so much waiting for you out there. And love yourself.
Well, Mary, you know what? I just love you. I really do. You and I are just,
too.
Yeah, just like two, And your message to my audience, I hope it touches them, and I know it will. That I often hear from them about situations where they are struggling, and your words, I think, would be encouraging and really helping them. But Mary, I want to thank you too, and I know Chico does, and he's back in the back room there. But anyway, so you're going to come back in a couple of weeks.
Yes, absolutely. Sure. And if your audience has any topics that they're interested in, let me know. Oh, and my email address, co-creatormaryadams@gmail.com.
Great. We got that. And then also they can go to Facebook and look up your name and see you there too. Yeah. But anyway, and I want to encourage all of you out there to check out Mary and hopefully fall in love with her just like I did. She's far, far away from me, but I feel like she's standing right beside me or being right beside me. And love yourself. Just love yourself and let us love you too. So anyway, this is Linda Carbonell, and I am saying goodbye for Walking Through Life today. But we'll see you next time. Say bye to Mary. Bye, Mary.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Mwah.
Mwah.
Walking through this life of mine, well, it's teaching me so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to